Hello and welcome back to our podcast Wasted. I'm Yasmin.
And I'm Courtney. How you feeling? Second episode?
I'm feeling really confident, I'm not going to lie.
You sound really chilled, actually.
You know what I mean? I feel chill, just chilling. Like, I feel more comfortable, you know?
Yeah?
Yeah, because I feel like the first, whatever like you're starting out doing, you're obviously going to feel really nervous like, the first time. Second time, like...
Nervous? Who is she?
Do you know what I mean? Don't know who she is anymore. And as well, we did pick a good topic to start with because it brushed up on my knowledge.
Yeah.
And obviously you learnt a lot as well.
Yeah.
And so did I, like all those stats and things like that. So kind of gave me the realisation that I know my shit.
And if you're sitting there confused because you're a new listener, we do have another episode, which was last week, and it was about e-waste, so electronic waste. We spoke some interesting facts, some really eye-opening facts as well. So if you haven't listened to that, then I suggest you go ahead and listen to that now. And if you did listen to that, thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something new. Today's topic, we're going to talk about the topic.
Yep.
What to do with your old phone.
Big question.
I have a question for you, first of all.
Oh, okay.
Because you have an old phone.
Yeah.
Like, what do you do with it? Like, has it ever crossed your mind to recycle your phone pre-working here?
No, because you know what the funny thing is? Like, even when we were planning this and even the last episode, I felt very like high and mighty because I was like I don't hoard my phones. Like I always make sure they're recycled. I just realised that just was not the case. Like a few years ago, I was moving from Essex to Kent. Yeah. So then I have an ottoman bed and you know how much like crap like you just shove in there. I had this really nice, like, sparkly silver box. I was thinking, oh, like, what's in here? I can't remember what was in there. I open it up. And I'm like, oh, that's really good. Like, my old brownie sash with all my, like, brownie things. And then there was, like, a wad of old phones. Like, I'm not even joking.
So you lied?
Yeah, I lied. My iPhone 6 Plus, sorry, what? That takes up about, like, this much space.
It's basically an iPad.
My first ever iPhone 4, like I had all my old iPhones in there.
Can we put a clip in here of you saying, yeah no, I don't, I'm not a hoarder.
I don't hoard my phones.
Don't know. All right, liar.
I was like, why the hell would I keep that? And my thought process was like, oh yeah, this is my first iPhone when I downloaded Instagram, like have to keep that.
What was you thinking of, like building a time capsule?
Mate, I don't know. I actually thought, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to keep that for like my child. Like, yeah, this is what I used to use.
They're probably going to have like something that comes out of their wrist or something. Like,
they'll be like, what the hell's that?
Like, why am I holding a phone?
Forget an heirloom. Here's my old iPhone. That was the old me, guys. Now, you know, clued up.
No, but I actually agree with that. Not the whole, like, I'll give it to my kids part. But I used to think, like, if my phone now breaks, I've got a spare. Like, instead of, like, selling that one when it's, like, relatively new that I can get, like, £200 to buy a spare phone, I would just
Save
be like,
it.
yeah, I'll
keep
I'll
that
keep
until
that.
it's worth £5. Yeah, better
Or
option.
I'm, like, the worst and I'll be like, oh, this photo's on there. Not
I
in,
know.
like, I can just
It's
upload
in
it
the
to
cloud. Sorry, what?
But my brain will be like, there's a text message on there that you're going to need in 15 years' time. Keep that phone. Like, I don't know why I ever think that.
It's learning curve.
It's a
you know what I
it's a
mean?
learning
That
curve.
is yeah. So I just had to share that with you guys. It's a bit embarrassing, but you know we
love a story time.
got to start from somewhere, you know.
Yeah, no, I agree. There's been times where I've had a phone or something, or even like an iPad. Let's be real. And I'll be like, I need something on that. I'm going to need that. Or I'll keep it. Or like, if my little cousins will come to my house, I'll be like, you can have that phone.
I get that because it's like I don't want your grubby sticky fingers on my nice phone.
Yeah. So you just have that old one, the old shit one that barely works and is cracked.
We all have our reasons, don't we?
Yeah.
But that's why this episode is it's going to be a good one to
Yeah.
stop you from making the same mistakes as we do.
Yeah. Today we'll be talking about what to do with any old phones that you have.
Well, first of all, I just want to say don't bin it. Like never, ever, ever under any circumstances bin your old phone. One, you're losing out. Like you could earn some money. And two, it's just you're contributing to e-waste. Like it's just a lose-lose situation.
We said this in the last podcast,
yeah.
like do your bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's not going to cost you anything just to do a little bit for the environment.
Exactly. And it's so straightforward. Silly, really. Silly to do that. And then obviously number 2, just work out whether or not it's working.
Yeah.
So you know your old phones. If you know you've got your old BlackBerry in there that you dropped in some water a few years ago, or 10 years ago really.
That was actually me. I dropped mine in the toilet. I wasn't obviously sitting on the toilet while I was...
Now we know what Courtney does when she has a toilet break.
I literally was like, I dropped it down the toilet and I didn't go and think. I screamed. I was like, Dad, I just dropped my phone down the toilet. And I made him... I could have literally just easily picked it out, but I made him go and get it for me.
That's never happened to me. The only thing that happened when I had my old BlackBerry, the back always used to just come off. Like, you know, the battery?
Yeah.
Yeah, it always used to fall out. So when I was at school, drop it on the floor, drop it in water. But the good thing is you could just borrow someone else's battery.
Oh, that was the best part, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
we digress.
Figure out whether it's working or not, because if it's not, then your best bet is to just research where your local recycling facility is, because you're not going to get any money for it. I mean, if you do, it's going to be a couple pounds. Usually it's free of charge. It takes 2 seconds just to type in your postcode, and then
and even if you do type in that sort of brand, if you want to call it like that, on our website, then we do have suggestions on what you can do with your old phone that obviously we don't take.
If we can't help you out, then
you've got options out there. You have Google, obviously. Ask Alexa.
Yeah, everything's just laid out for you.
And even if you can get a couple of quid off it,
better than nothing.
Yeah, you can get a couple of Freddos, some
little double cheeseburger saver menu.
Oh yeah,
apple pie. If you know, you know. Okay, say if it's a relatively new phone, what are the options there?
I feel like it's obvious that you have a wider options if you have a working or a newer phone, like one of the new iPhones or whatever. So if you've got an iPhone 14,
even the iPhone 10.
Yeah,
you can still get at least £100 for that.
And how many burgers can you get with that?
Have a whole meal.
Yeah, so obviously if you have a working phone, you have so many options with that one. You can recycle it and get more money for it, obviously. Yeah. Just go to our website, Compare and Recycle, type your phone in. You have your options of the condition that it's in, good, poor, broken, new. Click on the option that you think's the best and recycle it that way. Or you obviously have the option of passing it down to a family member.
Yeah, that's true, actually. I'm a bit selfish, I'm always how much can I get for it first?
Yeah.
And then I'll let you know if you can
be mindful.
Yeah, no, but it's a good option, obviously.
Yeah, so give it to your sibling. There also is charities. I know there's some charities out there that will take phones. So if you want to do obviously your bit for charity as well, you can go, because there's some part of a digital inclusion program that some charities do, and your phone will be donated to someone in need.
It's just a really good idea.
It's a nice thing to do.
Because you forget, obviously we talk about how expensive phones are. They're not actually that accessible. If you want a decent iPhone, whether it's a couple years old, it's still nearing £1,000. So it's good to be mindful that someone else could really, really benefit from your old phone. To them, it might not be that old. So I think charities like that are really, really good idea.
Any other options that you can do with a newer phone?
I mean, if it's not new, but you're not happy with the price that you can get for it, then you can, turn it into a sat nav, or I don't know, an MP3 player or something. That sounded so old. MP3 player.
I never had one.
Oh, who do I think I am? Oh, that sounded so old. But yeah, a music player or something, or a camera. There's a lot of
you can
apps.
upcycle it.
So you can do stuff like that. I know I still have, don't hate me, but I still have my old iPhone 11. What? But hear me out, it's coming very handy because I'm getting married next week.
Congrats.
And I need it to play my ceremony music and the music playing during our wedding dinner. So I'm using it as a MP3 player.
How long have you kept this phone for?
Well, I've only just replaced it. Sam got me a new phone a couple months ago. So I just thought that makes sense, because I can still have my current phone with me at all times during the day, and then just use that for music, keep it charged up. So I feel it comes in handy if you've got just maybe one old phone, lying around that you're actually going to use, then that's okay. But if you're not using it, then after the wedding, I'm definitely going to sell it, because I'm well, I don't need it anymore.
Have you researched your options?
Not yet. I'm really excited.
You save up again.
No, before like the next iPhone release, otherwise it's just going to drop. The price going to drop significantly. So need to get onto that ASAP. But yeah, there's a lot that you can do basically.
And I just know there's listeners right now that have got that drawer full of old phones. I honestly, my parents, like when I was younger, I obviously, instead of throwing it away or anything, they would just keep it in the drawer, and there will be like a phone drawer, because I remember like old phones. Like there was like a phone, I can't even remember the name of it now, but it was like, it flipped up and then you twisted the top, put the phone down, and it was like the camera.
No, shut up, because I actually had that phone.
It was the best. LG cookies with the little stylus with them.
Taco Light I had.
You love that. You said that a few times.
Can you tell it's like one of my favourites?
I think you just like saying it.
I feel like we should give the older generation some grace, because I feel like way back then, I'm joking. Back then, I think it was that common for people to like Google things. Like now it's like everything, like we all look on TikTok to get
if
research.
you told like the older generation, like nans and granddads, or even some mum and dads, when you were younger, did you recycle your phones? They'd be like, what are you talking about?
Like recycling, what's that? No.
Who recycles their phones? What does that mean?
I get it more with like that sort of generation, whereas with us it's like, really? Like you're still doing that?
Has it not come up on your For You page on TikTok yet?
Yeah, a bit embarrassing that, you know? It's not very demure.
Be mindful, be demure.
But yeah, like there's just, again, like we keep saying it, but there really is, like there's no excuse. There's so many options that you can do. So yeah.
So now that you've listened to us, there is absolutely no excuse whatsoever that you should be throwing your phones in the bin and not doing what's right with them, recycling them, give them to charity. So I guess it is the part of the podcast where we sort of relax, reflect, wrap up. So Yaz, what did you think?
I think it was, again, just a reminder of like my old habits and how much I've developed,
evolved, changed,
matured, you know, over time. Because like when you start to relive those old memories, like when I found the box of my old phones, it's like, oh my gosh, like as if the mindset was just a bit unstable. So yeah, it's good to like reflect and look back on what I did used to do with my old phones and what not to do now, and what to advise like my close friends and family if they're, you know, doing the same thing or wondering what they want to do with their old tech. So what about you?
I feel like it's not a reflection on like us as well. Like it should be a reflection on like you guys. Like, are you now maybe sitting there thinking like, God, like all those like the phones that I did throw away, all those phones that are in the drawer, like I can do something with them, like genuinely, and like we're becoming like parrots here, but like don't throw your phone in the bin.
Yeah,
well, seriously, we can't stress that enough. Like it's not that hard to not throw your phone in the bin. Exactly. And you know, like I guess the plus side is that like you can, if it's worth it, go and sell it via Compare and Recycle. And if like you just give it a try and you get £2 off it, like
£2
£2, you know, what do they say? What's the saying? Save the pennies and the pounds save themselves.
Look after your pennies and the pounds take care of themselves.
There you go. Words of wisdom from Yaz there.
Yeah, I'd rather earn like a few pounds, get myself a sausage roll or something.
Oh my God, yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
Do you know
Little Greg sausage roll.
Or like, if you get £100 for your old iPhone 10, then
what will you do with that?
Treat yourself to a Nando's, because that's about £100 now. It's ridiculous. But yeah, it's just, there's a lot that you can do with it. Like there's no point just chucking it away. It's just silly. Like you wouldn't chuck away.
Like would you actually go and throw your microwave in the bin?
No, or even like an old bed, like a decent bed, but you're moving, you want to get a new one. Would you chuck it away? No, you'd like try and sell it online because you know that it's probably worth something. I don't know why we all think that our old electronics are worth nothing, because they definitely are. Yeah. So I think we need to have a consistent mindset when it comes to things like that.
Yeah, like if you think it's worth something, like, you know, we're not forcing you. You don't have to recycle it. You don't have to. You can keep it if you really think like you're going to use it or whatever. But if you think it actually is worth something, head to the Compare and Recycle website. see what you can get for it. And who knows, you could get like £400 for like a new
It's
phone.
crazy.
Like, imagine that.
Exactly. I'd rather know.
Yeah.
Whether I'm going to sell it or not. Like, I'd just rather know if I'm going to get like a lot for it or not. Because the worst thing is if you sit on it for too long and then you go back in a few months and the price of it's gone down by £200, like, you're going to be kicking yourself. Like, don't be that person.
If it's in your head now, go and do it. Just go and give it a try. If it's worth £5, if it's worth £200, it's still something. And again, like we said in the last episode, you're still doing your bit. Just something so small can go a long way.
Exactly.
Like, if you're thinking there's a couple of phones in the drawer, and after, you know, there's some people that are it'll go over their heads as soon as they turn the podcast off, and they'll just be like, oh yeah, I'll do that. Like, stop procrastinating and just do it, because you know that those phones are going to end up in the bin, or they're not going to be worth anything. In this episode, we spoke about what to do with your old phones to make sure that they're not getting wasted. Again. So I feel like it's only natural that the next episode we talk about if you actually really need to upgrade your phone, if you need one, because I mean, it's all fun and games when it's all nice and shiny and new, but is it worth it? And I guess, well, the new iPhone is coming out.
It's exciting.
It's very exciting.
I think it'll be beneficial for a lot of
definitely.
people. Definitely for us, because one of us has a cracked screen on their iPhone. So will she be tempted or will she not?
What are you talking about?
Find out in the next episode. No, all jokes aside, it will be good because we need to know when is the right time.
Yeah, because eventually you're going to get a new phone. Like, you can't have a really old phone forever.
Yeah.
So we'll be speaking about if it's actually worth it. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that. As always, it's a pleasure to be talking to you guys, and I hope you learned something, even if it's just a little bit, or if you just learned on where you can recycle your phone or something. But always remember, if you do have a phone, an old phone that's lying about and you want to see how much it's worth, head to our website, Compare and Recycle. And if you liked us and the podcast, make sure to give it a like. Follow us on our social medias, Compare and Recycle. And we hopefully, you guys will be listening next time.
And thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Bye.